Well, hello, everyone. My name is Alison Woodall, and I'm a relocation specialist. That means I get to help you with the financial, logistical, and emotional issues that make relocating so stressful. And today I am talking to Shawnda Lopez, and she is a home stager. Shawnda, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you, Allison.
There are a lot of people who are watching this video who are probably trying to leave California, but there's a lot of other people like me who are moving to California, and you live in the Bay Area. What is it that you love most about living in California in the Bay?
Oh boy, so many things. Specifically in the Bay Area, we're so close to San Francisco, so close to the beach. It's just the whole entire Bay Area. It's just there's so many things to see, to visit. Even during the COVID experience, we've been very blessed to be in such a beautiful surrounding area. It's lovely.
And I live over the Altamont, so I'm in the Central Valley, but I love San Francisco. I mean, there's a reason why some places are very expensive to live, because the weather is beautiful, and there's downsides, but I think it's a beautiful area.
The weather is a bonus. Yes, you're right.
Well, I would love to ask you today about home staging, just kind of your main tips and your main advice for someone who is looking to sell their house, and what they should do to make their house as saleable as possible. So what is the main kind of goal when you go into a house to stage it?
Ambiance is a really, really big thing for people. So when our goal is to talk to our clients and talk to them about getting the home as clean and as ready as possible. And of course, that would be by inviting an environment that is absolutely gorgeous in a home. So it's very, very key. And it makes a huge difference when you're selling a home.
And because I've never actually had a home stager come into a house that I've been selling. I've just kind of done it myself and read a lot about it. But it would appear that you just want to clean out all your clutter and depersonalize the space so that someone can imagine themselves or their family living in that house. Is that kind of your main goal?
Exactly. So how the process basically works is whether I am working with a client that is typically, I will have a realtor that will reach out to me. Sometimes it will be an actual person who's selling their home that'll call me directly. And I meet with that individual, and sometimes the home is occupied, and sometimes the home is completely empty and they want me to completely bring everything in. So what we do is we meet with the clients, look at the exterior and the interior, and we do everything in our power to talk to them about in the kindest way, about how to get that home on the market so that it can get pending and sold ASAP. And some of the things that we do, of course, is we'll talk about the exterior and cleaning it up. We, as a staging company, we do bring in things like maybe some outdoor furniture, even for the front area, welcome mats, advise them on, sprucing up the front of the home. Then, of course, in the interior, I own all my furniture. So what I do is, if it's an unoccupied home, then I go through and I take pictures of the entire house. The walls are very important, to put large paintings in, mirrors, beautiful furniture. This is a really important aspect for when a home is for sale, is when a home is very inviting, it's overwhelmingly a home that shows better. And especially during an environment right now where it's COVID and we're online and we're looking at photographs, pictures that show well online are homes that are also getting a lot of attention when they're for sale. But those are kind of some key things, is giving advice to people, not only on furniture, but also looking at the walls and maybe giving advice on painting, the flooring. Oftentimes the realtor is also a huge part of that factor.
Wonderful. And so that's obviously, if you have a good budget, someone can bring in a stager like you with their furniture. What would you suggest for someone who maybe can't afford to bring in furniture? Is it just, trying to paint the walls a neutral color? What could they do within their own home if they're having to do it themselves?
Exactly. Yeah, there are some very shortcuts that you can take that are very affordable. Sometimes the style was, once upon a time, they had a kitchen that was a wine Sonoma Napa theme, and everything's kind of a purple color. Well, the styles right now, that might not be the most suitable look for buyers. And so we strongly suggest that they would do more of the grays and the whites and the lighter tones, so that when a buyer walks into a home, they can envision their furniture being in that home. And sometimes it's more difficult when homes are painted, the purples and the blues and things like that. So we definitely do give advice in that area as well.
Well, we lived in a house once, and the previous owners had painted the living room walls gold. And
right,
so
right.
the gold was very niche, that it probably wouldn't appeal to many people. So we just painted everything beige, and it sold
Right,
quite
right.
well.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. And Allison, not to cut you off, but you go into someone's kitchen and there'll be, pictures of the family all over the refrigerator. And we all do that, right? It's our home. But when we're prepping it for sale, we highly advise that, of course, they take personal photos down, and the stager will come in and we'll put in, we put paintings and mirrors, as I mentioned earlier. And we advise them to do things like taking the clutter. The clutter is a really, really big thing, is talking to people, again, as politely as possible, because we know that, we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but our goal is to help them sell their home and get their home sold for the highest amount as quick as possible. And the ways that they can do that is just by doing things like decluttering the bathrooms and taking everything off the kitchen counters and cleaning it up. And yes, so those are some shortcuts that make a huge difference. You're right.
What I like to do is to combine the decluttering with also that initial pack up for your relocation. So as you're going through decluttering, so that your house can be viewed by potential buyers, you're also deciding whether you actually want to keep that stuff. And if you do want to keep it, put it in a box and put it in the garage ready for when you're ready to move. It's kind of like that. You can combine the two things at once.
Exactly.
What do you recommend? Like some people have like multifunctional areas in their house. It may be the kids, play area. It may be your office area. Do you recommend trying to create a function for each space? So you have like a dining room and a living room and maybe an office area. Does that help increase the value?
Absolutely. It's something we do factor in, whether I'm working directly with the actual seller of the house or with an agent. Oftentimes on that topic, agents will have kind of a vision as well, because they're also the expert in the area, and they know what is the real hot items that people are looking for when they're selling a home. But absolutely. So even let's say that it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. We would highly recommend putting at least 2 bedrooms, or excuse me, maybe 3 bedrooms and 1 office, but making one of those bedrooms a kid's room with maybe even a desk to have kind of a Zoom look. And so, yeah, there's definitely functionality in rooms with dining areas. It's really important that you display a home that looks very livable and very inviting and beautiful.
Wonderful. And presumably, if you have carpets and things like that, maybe you want to get your carpets cleaned, not just from a look point of view, but also like a smell point of view. Because I have a dog. I don't notice the smell of my dog, but I'm sure I always worry that when someone comes in, maybe my house smells like dog. So I'm sure that's an issue too, is it?
It is. And so, yes, occupied homes, I deal with a lot of pets, and gently having those conversations with people. And the carpet cleaning, window cleaning is a huge facet of keeping, or excuse me, for really displaying a beautiful home. I've noticed even in my own home that when I clean all the windows in my house, the house looks brighter. It's more beautiful. And on that topic too, lighting is very, very key. So oftentimes we will give advice on updating lighting that can be very minimal in cost, but it can make a ginormous difference, like in a dining area. And then of course we like to put lots of lighting in homes that we stage. And we also advise them to open up their blinds. A lot of times people, they like to keep their blinds closed. But of course, when the house is listed, it's for sale, when they're having open houses and things of that sort, having blinds open, curtains open, and turning as many lights throughout the house makes the house look very inviting, as well as the smell factor. There is something just as humans, we walk into a house, if a house smells fresh and clean, it makes a difference. I was a buyer's agent once upon a time, and I did have buyers that would be basically turned off by homes that didn't smell well, and they'd want to walk out immediately. So it's a very, very important thing to talk about it. And those are those real gentle conversations I have with my clients as well.
Perfect. And I also saw something that I was reading. It was saying, like, if you have hardwood floors, rugs, if you can't like refinish the floor, if you have places that are not looking so good, maybe put a rug there or something.
Exactly.
Not that you're misleading the buyer. It's just that first impression that your house just shows better.
Exactly. It can go either way. So like you said, the hardwood floors, for example, can just be such a huge selling feature, but we absolutely, it looks beautiful, whether the floors are in pristine shape or not. Having rugs under carpets and under maybe dining tables and everything, it brings a beautiful look, but it also can be something that will kind of deter if there are some scratches and things on the floor. So rugs are a huge feature for selling a house, or for staging a house, I should say, and pillows on couches. I have worked with occupied buyers where they have a lovely couch, but I'll just come in and I'll update just maybe the pillows and add like a new rug and some coffee tables for them, and it makes a huge difference, and it saves them a lot of money.
And pillows are great for hiding that odd stain on your couch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what do you suggest with closets? Because I know closet space is a big thing. If you've got a ton, if your closet is jam-packed, do you recommend decluttering closets as well, if possible, to make them look bigger?
Absolutely. Buyers are nosy. I mean, they're making the largest purchase of their life. So we naturally, when we're purchasing a home, we want to look at a closet that is one of the biggest parts of our home, right? And so, yeah, when someone is putting their home for sale, that is another real big thing, that when we're walking through the home and we're coming up with ideas of how to make that house look as appealing as possible, we do talk about closet space and decluttering it. And making the closet look as large as possible. And just simply, just sometimes we just say, if you can just box some of your belongings, put it in the garage, and let's make that closet look really lovely. Closets are a big selling feature for a home as well.
Wonderful. And so if someone has a very small budget or a very short timeline, and are there certain areas of the house that make it more saleable? So if you've only got a few hours or a small budget, are there certain rooms that you should focus that budget and that time on?
Absolutely, Allison. So yeah, the key features, of course, is walking in the door and really wanting to capture that audience, right away. And so we always want to, typically when you walk into a home, we walk into like a living area, a dining area, not always, but so we want to focus on the living areas, the dining areas, a kitchen area, and typically at least a master bedroom. And so even if it's a 2-story home, we always recommend trying to get the downstairs as staged as much as we can to fit their budget, and then recommend doing a master bedroom upstairs.
Okay, perfect. Well, wonderful. And then, like you said, outside, making it as inviting as possible. I even saw a tip that try and leave your lights on outside at night, so that in case someone's driving by, just driving in the area, seeing a house. And I thought that's so true, because the house that we live in right now, we came by the moment we got to California, drove by the house at night. It did not look very nice, but it was the only house that was available, so we took it. But I thought that was an interesting tip, to leave lights on, to make your house seem inviting and warm, just in case someone's in the neighborhood.
Yep. And backyards, we do stage backyards all the time. And the same thing as the front of the house. We will walk through the back of the house and talk about ideas on, even if it's a house that maybe the backyard is pretty cluttered, we'll make recommendations on cleaning all that out, sprucing things with flowers, maybe some black bark, or whatever the case, depends on the backyard. Some people have lovely swimming pools, and we'll put chaise lounges, or we'll just put a little patio set, showing that it can be an entertainment home, depending on people's lifestyles, but we try to cater to that area and that market, and primarily to what a listing agent wants to do as well.
Wonderful. Well, that's great advice. So basically, neutral colors, declutter, depersonalize, make it look welcoming outside, and clean and steam clean carpets, hide marks on your hardwood floor. What else? And if you've got a small budget or lack of time, just focus on downstairs and maybe a master bedroom or just the key living areas. Anything else you want to add?
Well, with, talking about budget wise, something that's really, really important to think about when you're tossing and turning over the expenses when you're selling your home. Staging can make such a drastic difference that overwhelmingly homes that have been staged will get more offers, more attention. And if you're spending, let's say $2,000-$3,000 on something where you're going to get an ROI that could be potentially multiple offers way over asking, it's a very, very smart move to think about staging, or at least have someone come in and help you declutter your home.
Wonderful. Well, wherever you're watching this video, we're going to put Shawnda's contact information down in the comments section. What is the best way for people to contact you if they're in the Bay Area and would like you just to come in and work your magic on their house?
Well, thank you so much, Allison, first of all, for your time. And yeah, so I do have a website. It's www.interiors with an S by Shawnda. So it's INTERIORSBY. Shawnda is SHAWNDA.com. And I, believe it or not, I advertise my cell phone number. It's 925-395-0665. It's my business number. So I am also on Houzz, HOUZZ, and I've been voted best of Houzz into 2019, 20, and 21. I also have very strong reviews. And the most important thing when you're selling a house is working with someone who will really communicate with you and be as friendly with you as possible. It's an emotional purchase. And so I think you would get a lot of really positive feedback in regards to how I interact with people through that process.
Wonderful. Well, even if someone isn't in the Bay Area and can't work with you, all the information that you've shared is bound to get them a much better price for their house. And I'm very grateful to you for sharing all that information with us. So check out the comments. We'll put Shawnda's information there. And thank you so much for being with me today.
Allison, thank you so much for your time.